Hey there, thanks for tuning into my new show, The Restored. Here on The Restored, we have some amazing guest interviews lined up for you, as well as some small group panel discussions. In each show, our goal is to highlight our common yet unique experiences with trauma, recovery, restoration, and how we leverage our pain as the fuel to drive us towards our purpose. And that is to bring God glory. So sit back, relax, grab a tissue if you think you might need it, but get ready for a very transparent and inspirational conversation with today's guest. Let's tune in.
I have experienced homelessness, financial troubles, bias, and loss of hope. It is not easy to recover from trauma, but with God's grace, faith, and hard work, I was able to do it. So can you. I am Samay Shah, CEO at ProKatchers, and I am the Restored.
Restored community, we have sitting with us today a major business mogul in the staffing industry. And I am just privileged to have you, Samay, here with us today. You've done such an amazing work in the staffing industry. You've been an amazing partner to me
Kimberly.
and to several other MSP consultants and program leaders. And so, I found it really important to have this conversation with you because you have really generated this reputation for kindness. I think everyone that knows Samay knows that he is probably the kindest person you could run into in our business world. And if you're not in our business world, Samay is one of the kindest people you could run into and just make friends with. We do business, but at the same time, he's one of those people that I have met in the business world, but instantly became a friend nonetheless.
Yes,
so thank you for
absolutely.
coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me over. Thank you, Kimberly.
So Samay, we're going to start with our Fast Five Fun Facts.
Please.
All right. So we're going to kick it off with, what is your favorite edible treat?
It's called as Parle-G.
Okay.
We call it cookies in America. In India, we call it biscuits.
Okay.
I think it's also the highest selling biscuits in the entire world. I think a pack of it would cost like maybe 20 cents or something.
Oh, wow.
But that's my favorite. It's not because of the taste and everything. It tastes great though. But it's a lot of childhood memories attached with it. So, yeah.
Okay. What's been your most memorable vacation?
I am not someone who takes a lot of vacations, but recently I took one with one of my friends and their spouses and kids, all of them.
Oh, it was a whole family trip.
Oh, yeah. We were like 25.
That sounds very memorable.
We were like 25 of them, and we went to Goa. It's kind of funny as well because Goa is known as the party town of India.
Okay.
And so I was in that mindset that we are going to party. And they're like, oh, we are going to book a great resort and stuff like that. Turns out that there was a reunion of these men who were in their 70s and 80s. So I'm sitting at the pool side and they're like 50, 80 years old in the pool. But it was a fun vacation.
So you're partying with the elders and the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that does
Absolutely.
sound like quite the party.
Yes.
Lots of stuff can go down.
Yes.
Right? And what was your first car?
Hyundai Centro. Yeah, I was in India when I got that.
Okay. Your favorite, most teachable moment?
So this is different for different people. I always thought that my motivation is, my son is my motivation. The people who work for ProKatchers, they are my motivation. Family and friends. But I recently realized, like, one of my biggest motivators is to get my ego hurt.
Okay. That motivates you when your ego is hurt, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It motivates me.
Tell me more.
And it's a funny way to realize that. This recent one, and I went to the gym and I wasn't feeling it. I was like, I don't want to work out, but I'm here. And I'll probably do some stretching, maybe 10 minutes of workout or maybe 15 minutes, and then I'll leave. Turns out that I got my finger caught between two dumbbells and I kind of ripped it open from the side and it was bleeding. So I run to the restroom, kind of just take care of it. And now I feel like I'm Rambo. I'm like, no, I am going to finish my workout. And I did like a 90 minute of workout after that.
90 minutes.
Yeah,
So
and
this was recent. I
this,
see your
yeah,
finger
this
wrapped
was
up.
this
This
was
is a
very
recent
recent. Yeah,
teachable
this was
moment.
very recent.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, okay,
Okay.
I see where this is going. And then I connected that with my past experiences, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, my ego being hurt is a great motivator for me. Yeah.
Wow. And you had something recent to share. That is quite funny. So
Yes.
you felt like Rambo. You're in the bathroom bleeding.
Oh
You're like,
yeah,
"Rah,
yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
back out
I'm
there.
going back
I'm gonna
out there.
kick,
Yeah,
kick,
yeah.
kick butt today, right?"
Totally, totally. Yeah.
Wow. And so, what's your personal mantra?
Um, I think spreading smiles, winning hearts, and being kind to other people, that is what I live for. I stand by.
Wow. From the first time I met you, you shared your personal story with me,
Yes.
childhood story, and I think that's how I really just embrace you as a very genuine person. And I
Thank you.
love to connect with people and get to know people on a one-on-one basis and
Right.
getting to know more about the person in the business world. We do business all day,
Yeah.
right? We meet new partners, we meet staffing suppliers, we meet all types of people in the business. And at the end of the day, I feel like we're all trying to get to the end of the same rainbow. We're all
Yep.
trying to
Yep.
run the same race. At the end of the day, we want our families fed. We want to be able to pay our bills,
Yes.
obviously. We want to be happy. We want to, create joy and have a balanced life.
Right.
And so I find it important to always take time to get to know the person in front of you. I don't
Yes.
care what the business meeting is about. Take a few minutes to get to know the person
True.
that's sitting in
True.
front of you
Yeah.
because I think that adds so much value to the conversation.
Right.
So, Samai, I consider you to be the most humble and kind person, right? And there's a lot happening in the industry right now. A lot of people have been laid off. A lot of people are searching for new jobs. To be honest, I don't see as many announcements on LinkedIn saying,
Yes.
"Hey, congratulations, I got this new job."
True.
I don't even see it as much happening right now, which is an indicator to me that there is a major slowdown.
Right.
And so speaking back to what we were just talking about, everyone wants the same thing. If you start to see that trend go down, that's an indicator that a lot of people are in a holding pattern.
Yes.
A lot of people may be concerned about how we're going to move forward,
Right.
how long this is going to last. But I want to ask Samai, how is your heart doing right now in today's economy?
Um, I think what you mentioned, and I think everyone knows that, the times are tough right now. The industry as a whole is not on the positive momentum right now. And there are two factors to, how I am feeling or how my heart is doing. I think these are all external factors that you mentioned. It is not about what life throws at you. I think it is a lot about how you react to it. So in my mind, I think I am taking this very positively because I'm using this time to make myself as well as our organization better. We are trying to be ready for tomorrow because I always say that no graph is always straight. It's always up and down. It's a
Right.
downtrend right now. So what are you supposed to do in the downtime?
Yeah.
Right, just prepare for tomorrow. That's what we are doing as an organization, and I think it is necessary in the business world for those ups and downs because this downtime gives you time to prepare for what's going to happen next. So I think I'm feeling strong. My internal factors are taking me in the positive direction, so I think I'm feeling good.
That's good to hear. So, from small, humble boy in India to business mogul here in the United States, what is your earth assignment and what do you feel like you are called to do specifically? And who do you feel like you're called to here in the US?
I think my purpose in life.
Okay.
My
Hmm.
purpose in life is, like I mentioned, my mission is to, winning hearts and spreading smiles, being kind and
I
teaching
love that
kindness.
tagline, winning hearts and
Yeah.
sharing smiles, winning hearts, not from a bad perspective, not from
Yeah. Yeah.
like a dating
Like
perspective,
making
but
people
just
happy in
winning
general,
hearts,
Yeah.
winning
Yeah.
people over.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you unpack that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think the world is all about that. My purpose in life is, it's not just to run an organization. I think how I can contribute, giving back to the society, how I can make an impact in making this world a better place. Even if I give it my 100% or 500%, maybe the impact is going to be like very little in this world. But if everybody thinks that way, I think it will be a bigger impact. That's what I live for, and that's what I stand by.
So where would you say this heart for humanity comes from?
Um,
When did this start?
I think it's about, it comes from me being selfish.
Okay.
It's an irony in the story itself, because I think, I remember my mom told me, probably when I was like maybe 6, 7, 8 years old. She told me that there is heaven and there is hell. And you do one good thing in life, God is going to put a brick for you in heaven.
Hmm.
You do one bad thing in life, God is going to put a brick for you in hell. As in, when you grow up and you keep on doing this good and bad things, God will keep on adding bricks to heaven and hell, and God will keep on building a house. Um,
Well, that's an amazing way to get a child's attention.
and,
To
all
tell
right.
to make a point to a kid, like,
So,
okay, I think I want more bricks over here.
yeah, so God will keep on building that house, and by the time you die, you get to live in the house that is bigger. So I think maybe that's why I'm trying to add more bricks to heaven by, doing something good as and when I can. So
Yes,
I think
yes.
that's about me being selfish. So
Well, and I think that relays really well across different religions.
yeah,
Our Bible tells us that store up for yourself treasures in
yeah,
heaven, not here
yes,
on earth where
yeah,
things rot. And so, we believe the same thing, that the more we do, we're building up treasures and
yes,
a storehouse for ourselves for a better life in the
yeah.
afterlife. So, you talk a lot about your mom and being in India and your parents. How much of an impact would you say they made in your life?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's immense. We didn't have much growing up, but I think we had a lot of love.
Mm,
My parents, my sister, we are a very close-knit family even today. We have a lot of love and bonding and care amongst each other. My parents, they fight every single day, like every hour, every minute of every
I've
hour.
met your parents.
Yes,
They are really
right? Yeah,
sweet.
I
They're a
mean,
really sweet couple.
but they love each other. I mean,
Yes.
that's how they are. And me and my sister, she's 8.5 years younger than me, but we get along very well. That's the best sister I could have ever hoped for. And the thing that I loved about being the son to my parents is they're very honest and straightforward.
Mm,
They told us what we were going through. They did not hide anything from me, but they told me things when they knew that I was strong enough to handle
to
it,
hear it. Yeah.
right? And more than strong, I think mature enough to handle it.
Hmm.
And I think that gave me a lot of drive and passion. And I've learned a lot of things from my parents. I think one of the most important lesson that my dad told me is this world is a bad place.
Mm,
Do everything bad that you can to survive. If you have to steal, steal. If you have
mm.
to fight, fight. But just remember one thing: don't do anything as such that you cannot face yourself in the mirror.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, I think my parents have impacted my life a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting how he coined that phrase for you. The way I take that in summary, essentially what he's saying is don't do anything that you
Exactly.
cannot live with. If you
Yes.
can't face yourself in the mirror after doing it, then
Yes.
clearly there's an internal compass inside that
Yes.
is guiding you in a different
True.
direction, and you need to follow that compass.
Yes.
So what would you say your overarching message is to humanity with having this spirit and this heart of kindness, this humble personality? What's your overarching message to others?
I think so. If I ask someone, how many bad people do you know? And as an instance, if I'm asking you that, probably you will come up in your mind maybe two or three names,
Okay.
maybe five, you know. But
Hmm.
if I ask you how many good people you know, it is definitely more than the bad people that you know.
Very interesting. I would agree.
That is the same answer for anyone that you ask this question.
Okay.
Everyone knows more good people than bad people in their life, which says that this world is a good place. It's full of good people.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you my message to them, to people is to try and find the best in people rather than, hoping for the worst or like, don't go looking for the worst or bad in people. Just give people a chance.
Oh yeah, that's something I think we have to constantly remind ourselves, even when we have those moments when we
Yeah.
feel we're isolated. There are always more for us
Yeah.
than there are against us.
Right.
The world, the system, the enemy, the devil would have us to believe that we're isolated,
Yes.
or that everyone's against us and it's me against the world. But the reality is there
Yeah.
are more people fighting for you, supporting
True.
you,
Then
that are
against you.
willing to stand up for you
Yeah.
than there are that are against you.
Yep.
So I think that's a very good point to make. What brought you to the US?
Um, Love and money.
Love and money.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to unpack that just a little bit.
Growing up, I always wanted to move to America because I knew that, I probably would have a lot more opportunities here. My father had a lot of relatives here, and they always welcomed me here. Um, and I was working for a US based company for about 5 years while I was in India, and I was doing great. And I knew that, if I moved here, I would have a better future in terms of, the kind of things that I could achieve,
Hmm.
with the knowledge that I had and with the experience that I gained with that particular company. Um, that's why I wanted to move to America. But at the same time, I fell in love with someone who was here, never met her in person till 3 days before we got engaged.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
you had to get here.
No, no, no. She came to India
Right.
for the wedding. We got married, and then,
But you had to
and yeah,
get
yeah,
here to
yes,
be with
yes,
her, right?
yes, yes.
Wow. So, you know, the purpose of the show, The Restored, is
Yes.
for us to talk about those darkest moments that we've experienced. Maybe they're traumatic, maybe they were just heartbreaking, disappointment that may have actually been a turning point in our lives to change our trajectory, change our perspective or our whole outlook.
Right.
And those experiences sometimes take us on a downward spiral. They may
Yes.
take us away from God's purpose, from his intended course for us. But we have to find our way back to our original identity, our original purpose. We have to find our way back.
Yes.
And so that's the purpose of the Restored. Can you share some of what your darkest moments may have been throughout your journey? You're this kind person, this humble person, but I know even being kind, you run into trauma.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
people take advantage of that. What's that been like for you?
So, I think it is not one instance. It has been, so many.
Yeah.
I can even probably I would not even remember half of them now.
Oh, yeah.
But
Look, that's a good thing.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I think one of them I remember is, I lived on the train platform in India for about 6 or 7 weeks.
On the train platform. Can you
Yeah.
describe that just a little bit?
I mean, it's a train platform, like, on the railway station.
On the railway
Yeah,
station.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there are, I mean, it's just not me. There are so many people who would just, they have nowhere to go and they're just there. I was there with a little bag that I had.
So you were
Um,
homeless.
oh yeah, I was homeless.
Wow.
For a few weeks, like 6 or 7 weeks. I actually go to that place sometimes, yeah, when I'm passing by, I just stop by and just take a walk there. It's
Wow.
kind of changed a lot now.
Hmm.
So I remember that. There was my personal downtime, in my personal life. I've had setbacks in my professional career as well. I think, I worked hard for this one opportunity, and I remember that, I wasn't given that opportunity because I was too skinny. And
Wow.
they clearly told me, and that is in USA. Like,
Wait a minute. So they actually said you're too
yeah,
skinny.
my immediate boss.
We
He
can't
told,
have this job
yeah,
because
he
you're too
told,
skinny. Man,
He told me that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. Never have I ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Never have I
So
ever.
yeah,
Normally it's the other way
I
around.
actually find it funny now. I'm like,
Right.
but see, that's where my ego was hurt, and I work out now. I think I've gained 50 pounds in the last 3 or 4 years. I was like 99 pounds, like
Okay, so you put on
literally.
some muscle.
Oh yeah.
All right. It's like you gonna call me skinny no more.
So no, I've had experiences like that, but like I said earlier, life is going to, throw that curveball to you, and it's about you how you react to that. Now, I can be that person who did not give me that job, or I can be this person who gives these kind of opportunities to people who deserve it instead of judging them by their appearances. When I lived at the train platform, there was someone who's like, hey, who I ran into, an old friend, and he's like, you can't live like that. Let me take you to a place, and he helped me get back on my feet. Do I want to be that person? Yes, I want to be that person who
Hmm.
would, give it back to someone. So people have helped me a lot. Like, there are so many people that I owe so much, and I wish I could, live up to their expectations, and I can give it back to them. That's what I strive for. So.
Wow. And so tell us a little bit more about the love and relationships. Has there been trauma in that space, maybe?
Um, I think I've been very lucky in that space. I married the most amazing woman that I've ever known. We were married for 10 years. Amazing woman.
Wow.
Still, we have a lot of respect between each other. And I think we ended up being best friends. Like, you know, and we do our best to raise a good child.
Okay,
That's
so
what we
there
do.
was a divorce that occurred. You were
Yes,
married 10 years and got divorced.
yes.
Okay, got you. So can you share how emotional relationships may have impacted your finances
Um,
or your
I
business?
think it only affected me positively
Okay.
because a lot of my motivation, came from my relationship and my marriage. Um, I think when we started the company, we did not withdraw anything from the business for the first 18 months, and I she was the breadwinner of the family for those 18 months, and
Wow.
she never complained. So I think
Wow.
it has affected positively. Whenever I had setbacks, I remember I went to India in 2016 um, to start the company, and I was there for 3.5 months. Around the 2.5 month mark, I fell sick, and I had fever, and at the same time, things were not going as planned. Like, in fact, I
Mm.
whatever I did in that 2 months got kind of washed away, and there were people who did not want us to start our company in this particular city in India,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, yeah, they kind of arm twisted and did everything they could, and I lost all hope. And I call my ex-wife, and I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry. I don't think I can do this. And I just ranted it out for like 10 minutes. She listened, and she's like, this is not the Samay I married to.
Oh, wow.
So till the time you don't achieve what you were supposed to achieve, till the time you don't finish the job, you cannot step in this house.
Wow.
I did not talk to her for a month. My son was about 3 months old at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we didn't talk for like about 3 weeks or something. And
Wow.
then when everything was back on track, I call her and I'm like, hey, we are back on track.
Can I get back in home now?
I'm gonna be back in a couple of weeks. So yeah, a lot of my strength came from her. So yeah. So
Wow.
I've always been lucky in always surrounded myself with good people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ratio of good people is way higher in my life versus the ones that are not so good people. So
We had talked about, financial burdens that you experienced when
yeah,
you started your business. Also learning that, you've experienced a season of homelessness. So when you come to America and you're starting this business and then you run into financial challenges,
yeah.
there was a company that you were leaving and then you're ready to launch this business. can you share what type of financial burdens you experienced when you started the business and how did you get over that?
I think what helped me is my relations with other people, the friendships that I had created over all these years. I think I was there when people needed me,
Hmm.
maybe not financially, uh, because I didn't have that kind of resources. But yes, I was there when people needed me, in whatever capacity that I could help. And when I needed help, there were a lot of people who stood beside me. I practically had like no money when I started my own business.
Wow,
Yeah, but my cousin, who's also one of the partners in the company, he was the first one to believe in me.
that's
So a lot
good.
of my motivation and a lot of my success come with him. Harry, he's currently in India, but he was based out of North Carolina for about 10 years. So he was the first one to believe in me. And I remember I was in California for a conference. It was October 22nd um, yeah, it was October 22nd of 2015. I was in California for a conference, and I decided that yes, I want to start my own company. And he's the first person that I call, and he's like, "How much money do you need?" He was just
Wow.
one question he asked me. He did not ask like, "What am I going to get?" or whatever out of it. He was the first one, and then I called a few more people. Um, who were able to help me.
Hmm.
And I'm thankful to all of them, and
So you had several people to invest in your
yes,
business and
yes,
support you.
yes.
Like
But
you've got this great
so
community.
that's one side of it. But at the second, there was another side to it as well that I was ready to risk it all. So I
Oh,
knew that, I actually got a line of credit on my house, and if I needed, I was going to like put everything from that into my business. Plus, me and my partner, who's based out of Virginia, we even spoke about this that if the business does not take off in the first couple months, we will drive an Uber in the night. That was the plan. But fortunately, we were able to see success in the very initial days itself. So, yeah.
wow. So you've started this business. You've had so much support and so much help from your
Yes.
community. And I think that that's so key and critical, especially in the season that we're in right now, to ensure that you have community.
Yes.
You know, I think that the way that the world is going right now, the future of work, the way businesses are moving, there are a lot of people who have been laid off that are actually looking inside of their own gifts, their own talents, and saying, hey, I think I've got something valuable to offer to the world, to
Yeah.
the business world that can actually sustain my life.
Right.
And so people are betting on me,
Yeah.
betting on themselves
Yeah.
and starting businesses.
Yes.
And so, I think that's so key and critical as we're all launching something to make sure that we have community.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
important. I read recently in Second Kings chapter 10,
Yeah.
um, so I'm sorry, Second Kings, yeah, 10, and with the Shunammite woman and how, her son had laid in her lap and died. She took her son, took him upstairs, laid him in a bedroom where the prophet used to sleep, and then she ran out, didn't tell anyone where
Hmm.
she's going. She told her husband, like, just trust me, I'll be back. And
Okay.
she goes to see the prophet and says, my son, I need you to come.
Yeah.
And so she brings the son back, and he actually heals and goes in the room and heals her son, and her son is raised. Her son is
Wow.
revived back to life. But what is so key in that is that she didn't tell anyone where she was going.
Hmm.
She told her husband, just trust me.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
think that's so key that we understand where it is where we're going. And sometimes people may not understand,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
may not see, they may not get the vision, but we've
Right.
got to have an internal, firm understanding,
Right.
that we are resolved that what
Yeah.
I'm about to do is going to happen
Yeah,
and it's
the
going to
clear
work.
mindset is very very important. Trusting in yourself and you know
Yes.
what you're doing. Yes, because especially and great story, but I'm mentioning this in the business standpoint
Hmm.
is because everyone thinks that their idea is the best.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that their plan is going to work out.
Yep.
Everyone thinks, and not even as an entrepreneur, even as an employee, everyone thinks that they are the best at their jobs.
And you have to, you know?
But when it comes to business, you are not the only one involved in this.
That is true.
If you fail, you are not only taking down yourself and your investors, but you're also taking down all those people who trusted you and followed you, right? So it's very important to have that clarity of thought process. Make sure that you've tried and tested this, you've done this yourself, you have experience doing this before you start something new.
And I think that leads us back to community.
Yes.
That you're not on this island by yourself.
Oh yeah.
It's good to have an internal firm resolve that this is something that I'm able to do. I feel good about it. I feel very strongly about the product or the service that I'm going to offer. It's going to be amazing.
Correct.
It's important to have that. But at the same time, it's equally important, like you just said, to have that sense of community, that you're able to have a sounding board. Yes. Others that are in the same field, or others that have already started your business, or other key components that are like codependent to what you're going to offer, It's important to have feedback in the multitude of others, that are in the business world as well, so that you don't go down the wrong path.
True.
They can help you see those blind spots as you're starting these businesses.
Yes.
So when it comes to the turning point, you've gone through this experience where you've started your business and you've kicked things off and you've actually had, financial breakthroughs. What was the turning point that you would say that allowed you to cross over into wealth?
Turning point is, of course, starting the business. It's funny. This is what I tell people that, why to act as an angel when you can play God? That's a line from the movie Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels. You did say you liked that movie. Didn't you say you started your business after watching that?
I kind of picked that line. I'm like, okay, I just love it. I mean, it's a good movie, but yeah, I mean, I just liked it. And it kind of stuck in my mind that if I'm able to do this for other people, and if I'm successful at it, why not do it for myself? And I just, it was never about the wealth, money was secondary. Yes, it's very important. The primary thing was to create a culture, and that is what I strive for, to create that culture in the company. Am I 100% successful? Not even close. Am I trying my 100%? Yes. It's a process. It's a constant process. You have to keep on, working towards it. And people say that it's not easy to keep, it's not possible to keep everyone happy at the same time. I'm just trying, If it happens, it's great. If it's not, at least I tried. So I think, it's about that.
Wow. Now, when you talk about all of these things that you've been able to overcome, there had to be a grounding force on the inside. Share with us a little bit about what that's like.
So I think the way I was raised, what I have seen growing up, not just in my family, but also with my friends and their families and all. I always wanted to make a difference. And I knew that if I tried, God will always support me. I always had faith. Plus, I was always surrounded by good people, so I knew that if I fall, there will be someone to help me. I knew that, so I did not have the fear of failure. So maybe that's why it was easier for me. But at the same time, like I mentioned about that one particular incident about the gym where my ego was hurt, and that's the biggest motivation. I think my ego was hurt at some instances in my professional career, and I'm like, you know what, I am going to do it. Maybe it started as like a rebellion, but then I realized like, no, it's not that. It's about it can be a lot more, and yeah.
Was there a lot of behind the scenes? Was there a lot of prayer, fasting, time alone with God?
I think praying is a part of our culture, And I would pray with my mom every single evening, me and my sister. But then, I moved out of my house when I was 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, since then I've made it a point to, pray every single day. And my prayers are very simple. I, tell my God, how you doing? What's up, man? And this
You
is the
just talk
list.
to him just
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I
Hey, my
mean,
guy, how you doing? What's up?
yeah. I mean,
I
that's how
love
it is.
it.
Like, I mean, that's how it is,
That's
right?
prayer. It's
And
just talking to God in your
and yeah,
language. Yeah.
and this is the list of things that I need. And honestly, if I ask things for anyone else, always get it. If I'm asking something for myself, as long as it is logical,
Mm-hmm.
as long as I'm working towards it, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get it. I
Yeah,
mean,
that.
if I tell him that I need the number for Powerball, he's like, yeah, get out of here.
I think we all would love the Lord to answer
Yeah.
that prayer. Like, just give me a couple of them numbers
Yeah.
for the Powerball,
Yeah.
right? Let me
But no,
just hit
like no
once.
fasting or anything as such. But something that I like to test my limits. So something that I recently did. I don't even know why I did this. I decided to do a 365-day thing of no smoking, no drinking, no gambling, and being celibate
Okay.
for
How's
and
that working?
I think the first 2 weeks was very difficult. My poison is nicotine,
Okay.
so it's hard to stay away from it for the first couple of weeks. And I remember I went to a conference in Jersey. It was a science Diversity of Alliance of Science conference. Oh my God, I was miserable. But you know how I am. Like, I want to be everywhere. I want to talk to everyone. I'm buying rounds of drinks
Right.
uh, and I'm not drinking there. I'm like having club soda and lime. And oh my God, the club soda
You
and
weren't walking around like a crackhead, were
oh,
you?
I'm trust me. And
You were fiending
yeah,
for a
and
smoke.
and yeah, I need the nicotine. That was my like I locked myself into the room like, yeah,
Wow.
either I'm going and doing the whole conference thing, like, attending those sessions and all,
Did
or doing
anyone
the
else notice
meetings.
anything
Oh
different?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody was like, why is
Because
he
we always
like
know you to
that?
be
Like, yeah,
laughing,
like
happy.
everybody's like, why is he like that? I'm like, "Arr." Oh, but no, but after that, like I think I'm about 89 days deep in it now.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you're smooth sailing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I don't even miss any of those at this point in time.
Wow. So what has been your greatest self-discovery? Even now,
Uh,
while you're in these 90 days, has there been any recent discoveries?
yeah, so like I said, you know how I am. Like I'm always everywhere, jumping from one
Mm-hmm.
place to another, and that's how I'm in my normal life. Like, I want results as of yesterday. I want things to be done like right away.
Mm.
Um, Patience is not my strong suit, or was
Mm-hmm.
not my strong suit until recently.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that I'm not capable of being patient.
Mm.
Probably that was one of my strengths as well, that not being patient, that can
Mm.
also be your strength. But then, having that speed and, having the zest, having the drive to do everything. But if you can be patient at the same time, I think it makes you into a different person, which I have realized, I kind of realized that a long time ago when, I had my son, when he was born, and I learned a little bit of patience, but then I just stopped there. But in the last 80, just 90 days, I think I've learned patience a lot,
Oh yeah.
and I mean, I can force myself to be patient, but there is a war going on inside my mind.
Oh yeah.
But now I think I'm very calm inside. I'm like, it's okay, I
I don't think you're alone in that. I
yeah,
think right now we're all being tested
yeah,
of our patience
yeah,
in so many different ways. The world that we live in right now, everything is so quick and
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
I don't think this is isolated to you per se. I
yes,
get it that that's a personal experience that you're having, but just to speak to, the viewers and
yeah,
those that are watching this show, I think you can agree that Samaya is not in this by himself, right?
yeah,
We are
yeah,
all waiting for something.
yeah,
And here recently, just maybe a week or two ago, I had posted something with regards to waiting.
right,
The scripture tells us that they that wait upon the Lord
yeah,
shall mount up on wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and he
yeah,
shall renew their strength. But the thing is, all of those rewards come as we wait. And that was even a more recent discovery for me. It's not that those things come after we wait.
right,
It's not, oh, if you wait, then these things will come to you. Then you'll be able to run. Then you'll be able to walk and not faint. No, it's as you wait,
Yeah.
while you're waiting, he will renew your strength daily as you're waiting. Because when we're waiting,
Yes.
we're weak,
Yeah.
right? We're like, come on, God,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I just need this right now. Like,
Yeah.
hurry up, but
Yeah.
just wait. I
Yeah.
know.
It's like hanging in between, like,
Right.
it's yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
But the
So,
rewards and the strength and all of that comes as we wait.
yeah.
And that's where I think we miss it. And I think a lot of us are being tested in that
Right.
because he wants to remind us that you need to be relying on me and my strength and learn to wait because you're so used to
Yeah.
getting everything like this.
So I heard this somewhere. This is like a while ago. It says life says yes and gives you what you want. It says no and gives you something better, and it
Mm.
says wait and gives you the best in its own time. So
Mm.
along with that, I think there is one more thing I've realized is the power of let go is the biggest power. So
Ooh,
letting go of things,
letting
like
go.
just let it go.
Have you had to
It's
let go of
a
something
lot
that
of
really
things.
tested you?
Yeah, a lot of things actually. And but see, there is a fine line. So it again connects to my ego being hurt.
Okay.
Sometimes, like you can just say, let it go. You can see the consequences. Like, is it just about self-growth, or is it, not letting this go? Is it going to have a positive impact on everyone involved? You don't let it go,
Mm,
right? Like, if your ego is hurt, you stand up back and you fight back,
right.
right? But a lot of times, when you feel that, hey, this is just about someone did wrong to me and I want to wrong them back,
Mm,
I think, it's,
sit on it.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
might want to sit on
yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
So just to kind of shift the conversation a little bit, what are some creative ideas that you've come up with in today's market that have really helped other people in their space, like while they're waiting? What are some things that you've come up with?
So there are quite a few things which I share with people in terms of, and I kind of shared that a little bit in the beginning of a conversation, is what you do in the downtime.
Yeah.
Like, if you're into IT, how much more can you do in the IT space, or what are the new skills that you can learn?
Hmm.
Use the time use the downtime to increase your skills.
Hmm.
When the market opens up, you will find better opportunities and all. Another thing that I do is I have this group of people who are on student visas and all from different countries. Well, when I mostly from India.
Okay.
And I have a group of those people on my WhatsApp. So initially started it with a friend's daughter, and then somebody else's daughter, and somebody's son,
So
and
your
like,
community grew.
yes. So
Okay.
now I've kind of created a group
Hmm.
of people, and some of the people in that group have been in the US for like 5, 6, 7 years. Now they have a job and starting families and stuff like that, versus
Hmm.
someone has been in the US for 6 months. So they just post their questions, and then I don't even have to reply to them. Someone from that group will reply to them, and it's take like now that group
Wow.
is self-sufficient.
Is
They
self-sufficient.
are just and when I started this, and if I was able to help someone, I told them, I will need your help.
Yeah.
And that time you don't say no, this is how I need your help.
Oh yeah.
So you got to help this person now. So, like it's a chain that has been created which takes care of it by itself now. So,
Wow. And back in January when I came into this year, a lot of us, if you're like me, you start the year off with your word for the year.
yeah.
My word for this year was community.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how that was going to be unpacked, but I think this month, this is being recorded here in the month of July.
Yeah.
This month, this is when I actually began to understand, and it's being revealed to me what community was about for this
Yeah.
year. And that's why I was talking to you about it just a few moments ago, that it's so important that we build and create that community. New business owners,
Right.
if you're traveling, if you're starting new families, if you are moving to a new location and starting a new life, community is so important.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love that idea that you just created. You created a community not for yourself,
Yeah.
but for others. And it just became this self-functioning community.
Yes.
And it's something that if you ever did need something, you've got a community that you can
Oh,
tap
yes.
into.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
So for new business owners that are starting businesses right now, what advice would you give?
yeah. I think the basic things. You gotta have the passion for it, drive for it. You have to have the experience, right capital, hire the right people, and all those things, right? But I think the most important thing is madness.
Madness. Okay.
Yes,
Tell
you
me
have to
more.
be mad for this. Like you have to
Ooh,
be crazy. You have to live, eat, drink, breathe what your business is, at least for the first couple of years. You know,
wow. Years.
yes.
Wow.
You cannot like if you especially in a market like this, like if you are a startup, I think there are 90% chances you would fail in this market. Doesn't matter
Mm,
whatever it is right now,
yeah.
unless it's healthcare, that's a different thing,
Right.
But even there, healthcare is not on an upward move, like it's stagnant or probably still kind of declining a little bit. That's what I feel,
Hmm.
right? But other than that, like, if you are starting an IT company, or if you're starting a consulting company, or if you're starting a small restaurant or something, right? You have to be, eat, drink, breathe, whatever it is. Like you just have to be involved into it,
Yeah.
and give crazy amount of hours. You have to like madness is the word if you want your startup to be successful in these times.
Wow. So, what are some creative ways that folks that are starting their businesses in this economy where finances are tight,
Yeah.
some people are already on unemployment, severance has run out, and you're
Yes.
starting this business, you're probably tapping into 401k and some of your savings and reserves. What are some other creative ways that people can create the capital? Like, I know you had community,
Yes.
but some may not have that community.
True. I think community was one of my uncles. He's the one who along with my cousin helped me with some of the capital in the beginning, right? And but other than that, like I said, I was ready to risk it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had equity in my house. I was ready to pull that equity out and put it into the business, right? I was ready to drive an Uber in the night so that I could take care of my family, right? There are a lot of ways to get capital, but I think um, do not if you trust your business, do not sell the equity on the day one.
Okay.
Do not bring in a partner and give them a percentage,
Okay. Very
right?
smart.
But if that is the last resort, do it.
Mm.
But make sure that you bring in whosoever you bring in, that is a trustworthy person. That's
Right. Make
very
sure it's the
important.
right partner.
Exactly. Um, because the longer that you wait and more successful your business is, you share, sell the same amount of percentage at a higher rate, right?
Right.
I think and banks are not going to give you money. They need tax returns for the first couple of years and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think if you have any assets, or if you're ready to let go of some percentage of your business, if there are people who believe into what you're doing, those are some of the ways you can raise capital. But like I said, banks are no option.
So, what would you say is the social media impact on new businesses starting today?
Um, I think I've, we all live social media now. Like, if you are not on Facebook or Instagram or, TikTok or, whatever the other social media platforms are, and people like, what? You don't have so and so? Like, people kind of judge you,
Hmm.
right? So if you, I think it depends on the kind of business that you have. If you are into retail, you definitely need to be on social media and promote them.
Right.
Um,
Because there's a difference. Some people have service-based businesses,
yes,
some
yes,
people have product-based
yes.
businesses. So there is a difference, and you have to kind of understand how to navigate in either pool.
Right. So yes, it definitely has a huge impact, um, but it also depends on your product,
Okay.
right? Not just the kind of product, but also how good or bad your product is,
Okay.
right? If your product speaks for itself, you don't need social media,
Okay.
right? Um, But I have also said this at one point in time. I said this like, a product without advertising and marketing is like winking at a girl in the dark. You're trying your best and she has no idea what's happening.
You and these phrases, oh my goodness.
So,
Okay, so a product without advertising and marketing is like winking at a girl in
in
the
the dark,
dark.
yeah.
Okay,
You're trying your best, but she
you
has no
heard it
idea what's.
first here. So, Samai, we've shared and talked a lot today about
Yes.
your background, some of the things that you've experienced, your humility, your kindness, and we're getting ready to come to a close.
Yeah.
But I always like for my guests to take a moment and just impart some wisdom, some inspiration, or some hope into the people that are watching
Yes.
today. And so, if there are individuals that are watching The Restored right now and they're struggling to find their sense of identity, their sense of purpose, and they've lost hope, or maybe on the brink of losing hope
Right.
for where the economy is going today, if you were to look into that camera and inspire them, what
Sure.
would you say?
So, the people who know me or the people who have worked with me for a long time, they might have heard me say this before that no graph is ever straight. It's always up and down. But when the graph is going up, that is the time when you accelerate. When the graph is going down, that is when you put your brakes on. Just take a pause, take a moment, reanalyze everything, and see what you can do better. If you follow this process about accelerating when the graph is going up and putting the brakes on when the graph is going down, you will definitely end up at a higher position from where you started at. I think, yes, the market is bad right now. Yes, there may not be a lot of jobs out there, but you as an individual just needs to land one. So make sure that you apply to as many opportunities as you can. Use your network and connections and references wisely. And if you do everything right, I'm sure you must be able to find something.
Thank you so much, Samai.
Thank you.
Even that has inspired and encouraged me. We've had a lot of conversations in
Yes.
this current market, and one of the things that you've said that has encouraged me is that just be prepared for the upswing.
Yes. Yes.
Stay at the plate. Be
Yeah.
ready to swing because when that ball comes, you got to
Yes.
be ready to hit it,
True.
right? So I encourage you as well, as Samaj just said, be prepared for the upswing. So whatever that looks like for you, whatever preparation you need to make, whatever time you need to spend in self-care, if you're not without work right now, what a shame it would be for you to finally get that job and then you look back and say, well, I wish I had done this, that, and the
Yeah.
third. I wish I had taken more time for
Yes.
self-care when I had all that time off. So spend some time with you. Be inspired, be encouraged, and know that the best is still yet to come.
Yes.
Samai, thank you for coming to the show today.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
for just imparting vision and hope and sharing from your humble story with the community today. And thank you for coming into your own, doing the
Thank you,
work
Kimberly.
that you're doing right now, creating community, inspiring people to be kind,
Yes.
and even in your personal journey with the prayer and the fasting and the time that you're taking aside for you. Thanks for doing the work
No,
because
thank
a
you
lot
so
of
much.
times we don't hear about it, especially in the business community. We don't know what people are really dealing
Yeah.
with at home behind the scenes, and we take that for granted. We are all just human.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for being so transparent.
Thank
And
you.
would you say you're restored?
I am restored. Yes.
We are the restored.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you, Samai.
Yep.
Wow, what an amazing conversation. Thanks for tuning in today. If something was said here that has inspired you or your relative or a friend to keep moving forward in spite of the challenges that you're facing, or if you just needed a little extra push to continue to have hope, then our mission has definitely been accomplished. The Apostle Paul tells us in Ephesians 3:16, I pray that God would unveil within you the unlimited riches of his glory and favor until supernatural strength floods your innermost being with his divine might and explosive power. You've got some power on the inside of you, but you've got to believe it. And once you believe it, your entire outlook on life will change. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Like the video, share it, and subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode. And I want to remind you of this. You too can be restored to power.